Hello everyone, Joseph Dunphy here, and this is your weekly Grass10 grazing management update on the dairy edge. PastureBase figures for the week are: average farm cover is 706 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and the cover per livestock unit has increased to 208 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit. Growth has increased to 56 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and demand is sitting at 50 kilos of dry matter per hectare at the minute. Pre-grazing yield is just shy of 1,500 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and the diet continues to be in around 14 kilos of grass, 4 kilos of meal, and 1 kilo of silage. Dry matter percentages recorded for the week were 15% in Athenry, County Galway, 17% in Moore Park, County Cork, and 16% in Grange, County Meath. Predicted grass growth, rainfall, and soil temperatures for the coming 7 days. Grass growth predictions for the coming 7 days are expected to be quite variable depending on rainfall received, with areas that haven't received rainfall expected to be in the high 40s to the early 50s in terms of growth rates, and other areas that have received adequate rainfall expected to be in the low to mid 60s. Average soil temperatures for the coming 7 days are expected to be between 15 and 16 degrees, and predicted rainfall amounts are low at under 15 millimetres of rain for the vast majority of the country. So, the Grass10 grazing tips for this week. Growth rates have improved slightly, however there's huge variation on farm depending on stocking rate and volume of rainfall received. The average cover per livestock unit from PastureBase shows that there is some surplus on farm, however other farms are struggling with the cover per livestock units down at 150 to 160 at the minute. On lower stock farms that have received adequate rainfall and have a cover per livestock unit of above 220 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit, there may be an opportunity to remove a paddock for surplus bales to correct grass quality. At the growth of 56 kilos of dry matter per hectare, growth is just about supporting 3 cows per hectare on dairy farms. An additional supplement is necessary to bridge the gap. Any second cuts that are grown since the last week of May should be harvested this week. Grass quality remains a challenge on many farms, and time is running out before grass build-up needs to start on farms during August. Paddocks will need corrective action this rotation, and if no surpluses are appearing on farm at the minute, the ideal decision is to mow post-grazing. It's important to get our fertiliser correct on silage and grazing ground over the next number of weeks. There's an opportunity to apply K with nitrogen fertiliser for the next 6 weeks. Products like a 29-0-14 can help to replace K on paddocks that have been cut for silage or surplus bales. It's important to fertilise paddocks with N correctly in order to try and bridge the gap in winter feed that is apparent on some farms. However, on dairy farms, it is important to get milking platform back into grass production to reduce stocking rate and maybe fertilise an out farm for a third cut. At 3,000 kilos of dry matter per hectare, third cut in early September will require in around 60 units of nitrogen, which is the equivalent of 1 bag of protected urea and 2,500 gallons of slurry. Now is also a good opportunity to start thinking about lime application for your farm, so consult your soil results from last winter. This week's Grass10 feature farmer is TJ Ryan from Rossmore, County Tipperary, and TJ is part of the Heavy Soils programme in Teagasc. His average farm cover is 732 kilos of dry matter per hectare. The cover per livestock unit is 237 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit. The growth has increased to 62 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and demand is sitting at 53 kilos of dry matter per hectare. Milk yield at the minute is 23.4 litres, and the fat at 4.17 and protein at 3.62. TJ notes his farm is in surplus at the minute, but there's nothing ready to cut yet. Grass quality has improved a lot in the last week, and his target for the next week to 10 days is to cut a paddock with the poorest quality. TJ notes that he has a small amount of clover on his farm. He's noticed a change in clover content over the last week. However, the clover content is still not where it is supposed to be, and he is continuing with his normal rate of fertiliser. Last year's soil samples showed that the farm was low in K, and he's spreading 29-0-14 plus sulphur at the minute. If you'd like to hear more from the Grass10 team, subscribe to the weekly Grass10 newsletter, which is available on the Grass10 page on the Teagasc public website, and the link to the newsletter is available in the description of this podcast. This has been your Grass10 update, and I'll talk to you all next week.